Hi guys, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. Here I am back with another video. We've already been notified that our tentative exam date is going to be in July. I'll come up with further videos on the timetables that you can follow for your first, second and third revision. But this video is going to be mainly focusing on how many days we can allot for completing your first reading. So let's start. I've set this timetable assuming that our exam is going to be on the first Sunday of July. So our first reading will be starting on March 12th till May 22nd. So it will be approximately 72 days for your first reading. So this is a very easily attainable target to complete your first reading within 72 days. This entire timetable is customizable. If you are finding any subjects difficult, then please add +2 to the time you are allotting for that subject. If you are finding any subject easier, then just deduct 1 or 2 days. So firstly, let's look at how many days we can allot for the big subjects. Surgery 5 days, medicine 5 days, PSM 5 days, and obs-gynae you can take 5 to 6 days. Okay. Now, the reason I've given 6 days for OBG is because there are a lot of concepts involved in obs-gynae. Now, when we come to medicine, even though I say that we can give 5 days for medicine, that won't be enough. I know that. But depending on the rapid revision videos or the main videos that you're watching, try your maximum to finish it off by 5 days. Later, you can build your concepts of medicine through pharmacology, pathology, microbiology, and physiology. If possible, you can finish off your PSM within 4 days if you sit 4 days straight, or maybe you can take 1 more day extra, that is total of 5 days for PSM. Most of the things that you have to learn in PSM are not concept oriented, but mostly things that you have to by heart. Now our next subject is surgery. 5 days will be less actually for surgery, but you have to increase your study hours to finish surgery in 5 days. Surgery, medicine and OBG are very concept oriented, so you have to build it slowly. Even after your 5 days of first reading, you have to reinforce your subjects with the help of other subjects. Now the next set of subjects like anatomy, physiology, pathology, ENT, ophthalm. Now all these subjects we can allot 3 to 5 days. So let me just brief you an example of how many days you can allot. It is going to be 5 days for anatomy, 3 or 4 days for physiology, 4 to 5 days for biochemistry, 5 days for pathology, 4 to 5 days for microbiology, 5 days for pharma, pediatrics 3 to 4 days, and 3 to 4 days again for ophthalmology, and 4 to 5 days for ENT. For example, if you find ophthalmology as an easy subject, then instead of giving 4 days for ophthalmology, maybe you can wind it up in 2 days and give those 2 extra days for completing your other subjects. So the next list is going to be for the short subjects. You can allot 1.5 to 2 days for completing the first reading of all these short subjects like derma, ortho, psychiatry, anesthesia, forensic. Is that it? 5 subjects, right? For forensic, it comprises of at least 10 marks. So you can allot 2.5 days for forensic. Don't treat it as a short subject. So I assume it this way that at least by half of January and full of February, you might have completed at least 4 to 5 subjects. If you haven't, then it's still okay. But if you have completed, then I can say that, for example, if you have given 5 days for surgery, but if you have already finished your surgery during your January or February or any time before that, then maybe those 5 days of your surgery can be allotted for completing another subject. I don't know whether everybody of you will be knowing this, but you must at least revise your whole 19 subjects at least thrice before you go into our exam hall. Now, during our first read, please do not underestimate yourself by saying that even after I've learned a lot during my first reading, I'm not able to retain anything. That is very normal. It is very normal that we forget all the things that we learn. Only through a lot of revisions we will be able to reinforce whatever we have learned earlier. So revision is the key. If you are not planning to finish all the 19 subjects, it is okay. For example, I had already decided that subjects like biochemistry, anatomy and physiology, these 3 subjects I will not be studying that much. I will not be completely skipping the subject, but when I did them, I would be completing with the help of LRR, flashback and 101 liners. Please do not skip any subject. It is important that you have some idea about all 19 subjects that collectively will add to your score. In my case, even after setting 4 to 5 days for a single subject, I was getting very overwhelmed or bored with by studying one single subject a day. So what I used to do was to shift the subject. The first half of the day would be going for medicine, and the second half of the day will be going for radio. So in that way you can shift and shuffle your subjects according to your brain's capacity. Now within this schedule, how do you manage to do your questions? Now this is a very tricky part. The one thing that I hated to do the most was to do the questions. As far as our exam is concerned, it is an MCQ based exam, so it's very important that we deal the questions on a daily basis. If you haven't started doing your MCQs, please start today, because they will make a huge difference in your score. I'm not asking you to do 100 questions during this phase of your preparation. If you want to do 20 questions today, just slowly build up on the number of MCQs that you are doing. Start with at least 30 MCQs per day and slowly start building them and reaching it to 100. So if you are starting with 30 MCQs today, make it 35 the next day, and you will be soon in your 60 MCQ per day phase, and after that you will be soon on the 100 MCQs per day phase. So it is important to keep up the momentum till the end of our exam. There is this quote that Dr. Deepak Marwa sir has told in one of his classes, that is to eat the frog. The meaning of this phrase is that whatever task you are finding as the most challenging one to complete in a day, that should be the first thing that you do on that day. For example, in my case, doing PYQs and MCQs was the most difficult task that I had faced. So identify your frog, eat it, and do it on a daily basis. So if you are finding it difficult to revise it daily, then that is your frog. You have to do it consistently. Start slowly with the previous year questions, because PYQs are a bit popular and familiar, so there is a high chance that you might have seen those questions earlier. Once you get adjusted to the previous year questions, then you might go for Prep Ladder or Mado Q banks. Our main aim of doing previous year questions during this phase is not to predict what our score is going to be in our exam. How do we know what topics are important in all these 19 subjects? For example, Madurai food from microbiology, atrophic rhinitis from ENT, and the cannula coloring from surgery. How do we know that these are high yield topics? Only when we do the questions we'll be knowing what all are the important things. And the moment when we don't get the answer, that's when it strikes, oh, I should have studied this. So during your first read, please do not judge yourself. Please don't get scared by the score that you get. It will get a lot better with time and revisions. And also please make sure that you find time to revise whatever you have learned today. For example, from 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the evening, if you have studied your medicine, then please make sure that you revise that topic the next day. And also don't do all the questions that you see on Telegram or whatever app that you have. If you have completed your general surgery, then do the questions only of general surgery. Do the PYQs only from that topic, because I never found it of any use of doing a lot of questions that I haven't studied. So that's it. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll be coming with more videos regarding the FMG preparation. So stay tuned. Bye bye.